Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Can you hear me, Dionne? You can't hear me? I can't hear you. Turn up your laptop or something. Turn it up. Is it low? Okay, y'all, we trying to get her. How you doing? How you doing? This is Luana YBC, Youth Building Conversation. I have not been on here for a long time. I'm hoping you can see me on Instagram as well, but I'm not sure. But while Dionne, you on mute. I see you on mute. Okay, she disconnected herself. Well, I can talk a little bit. I am back. I am back on the YBC platform. I will continue interviewing throughout the rest of the year. I just have been very busy, but this platform is still very needed. And I have been meeting some great people that I would love to have come on my platform. I just been a little bit busy, overwhelmed with my full-time job, as well as my shoe business. Are you? Hello? I don't know what's going on, why you cannot hear. Can you hear me? But I cannot hear you. This is weird. I still can't, I can't hear you. Trying to get her mic on here. I haven't been on here for so long. StreamYard changed a lot of things, but it shouldn't changed the mic. And your mic is on. So I'm not sure what is going on. Okay, so Javita says she can hear. Let me ask, can you hear Dionne? Joe, can you hear Dionne? She said, I can hear you. But she can't hear. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Let me check on here. Edit mic settings. Everything is fine. Mute. I can unmute you. Okay, what's this right here? They can't hear you, Dionne. So it must be something on your side. Are you on your computer or a phone? You on your phone? See if you can log in from your computer. I mean, from your phone. All right. Well, come on, Lord, get this interview up. She got a lot of good things to say. And she looking cute too. Well, anywho, like I was saying, I've been busy with my shoe business as well as working. I know I'm going live, or I thought I was going live on my Instagram, but someone told me they didn't see me on my Instagram. So I guess I'm not live on Instagram. But everyone know that I do have a shoe line. So please follow me at houseofpeyton.com. And we have some cool shoes up there for women. Men, I have not designed your shoes yet, but it's coming hopefully in 2026. How we doing, Dionne? Okay.
Her phone.
Okay. So I, okay. Hello.
Hello.
Now we can hear you.
You can
Yay.
hear me. I'm sorry. I don't know why it did not want to function.
Okay. So now we can hear you good. I'm glad. That's all right. It got me a chance to talk a little bit. I haven't been on here in a minute. So I'm glad I'm back, and I'm glad you can have your volume now so people can hear you. But before we start, we're just gonna open up with a word of prayer. So just bow your head. Lord, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for the person that I am interviewing, which is my sister friend that I've been knowing for over 30 plus years, Lord. Just guide her, keep her as she tell her story, and just bring awareness to what's going on and what we're celebrating this month for those who have endured with the disease. So I just want to say I thank you and I praise you, and just let this interview go forward. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
So how you been doing, Dionne?
I've been very well, thank you.
That's good. You looking all cute. I told her, I was like, she outdressed me on my own platform. And I came with a t-shirt on. She came with a dress and everything else, hair did and everything.
It's just a blouse. It's a blouse.
Okay, great. So we just gonna get started. So can you tell us who is Dionne Chinn? Okay, now she frozen. Dionne, beautiful smile, but y'all, am I frozen or is Dionne frozen? Dionne, can the audience let me know if I'm frozen or if Dionne frozen? Because all I see is a smile with Dionne, and I don't know where she went. Uh, let me try to ping her. Dionne,
Yes.
okay,
I'm
what
super ner-
happened?
I'm super nervous. I don't know. I guess I'm doing too much.
Well, what are you doing?
Nothing, darling.
Okay. Jovita said only Dionne.
Agreed.
All right.
Dionne. Who is
Okay.
Dionne?
Who is Dionne?
This is part of who Dionne is. She does a little too much. Dionne is a Gemini that's always busy. Dionne is a girl from Camden, New Jersey, residing here in Delaware, who has experienced an autoimmune disease called polymyositis or myositis. So that's what brings me here. I'm a good friend. I laugh at myself very easily. And I work for the state of Delaware, y'all.
And she
Delaware
almost
became my home after graduating Delaware State, where I met my dear sister friend.
okay. Don't be going to my questions, please. I
Oh,
just
did
asked
I
I
go
just
too
I
fast?
just
Did I
asked
get too
I
much?
just asked you who you was. That's it.
That's
Okay.
who I am. I'm sorry.
Okay, great. So name me three adjectives that you did not mention while you were saying who Dionne was about yourself.
3 adjectives.
I can name three, but go ahead. You name three.
Outgoing. Um, let me see. What am I? Dion is outgoing. Dion is funny at times,
Mm-hmm. And what else?
and Dion is a great friend.
Okay, okay. So we already know where you was born and raised, Camden, New Jersey. Whoop, 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 whoop. We already know what HBCU represent, Dell State University. That's
They,
HBCU here in America. So after college, you started working, and then something happened that changed your life. Let's just jump right into it.
yeah. So being young, enjoying my flirty 30s, or I was getting the groove in because at age 34, you kind of into your 30s. And about the summertime, about August, I started feeling not myself. I had was always an active person. I was a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader since the age of 12. And so I had recently gotten back into cheerleading after being out of college and not cheering for, I guess, about 10 years. And I started feeling, like I said, not myself. So I was walking like like most of us older people start to do, staying active.
Speak for
Some
yourself.
days were good, some days not so good. The not so good days really raised the question because that wasn't normal. Anyway, it raised the question enough that I was like, Dion, go take care of you. Something's not right with you. So I made my annual doctor's appointment, make sure everything is running good because I was good about that. And what made me question is like I was starting to feel fatigued, tired. Things just like walking we're becoming to we're an effort. You There's a park locally here, 3 Mile Park. Could walk it on a given day real easy. But I could go to work and walk from my car to my desk at my office, and I felt like I walked those 3 miles. And that didn't even do that much. So those were raising questions. Like why am I feeling so fatigued? So I go to the doctors. I can exactly tell you the day I went to the doctor on 9/11.
Wow.
I know some people probably might be thinking, like, that's not a good day.
No.
So we all know about 9/11. So we go in, she checks me over, she gives me some scripts, went and got some blood work done. We came back and I got a call. Miss Chin, your liver enzymes were elevated. We need you to um, go get tested again in a week. So they told me and that during this time I'm like having some pains in my calves, muscles, things like that. So they were like, if you're taking any medicine like Tylenol, what have you, please don't take any, and then go get your blood work done again. Literally within a week, it had doubled,
Wow.
and so we started doing more aggressive testing, like um, CAT scans, ultrasounds, and trying to find out what's going on. So we done now went from September 11th to October 11th. October 11th, I woke up any given day, it was a Wednesday, and I'm like breaking down crying because my calves were hurting so bad that morning.
Mm.
And so every morning I would call my mother and we would talk as we're getting ready for work. And she knew what was going on, but she didn't know the extent because I hadn't seen her. So she was like, I really need you to get back in your doctor's office, or I'm gonna come down there and take you to the hospital myself. Lo and behold, she did both. You know, so we I got into my doctor that day. My doctor was like, it's been a month and you can't even get on my table. So like my body was like changing that much. We're just lifting my hip to sit onto your doctor's table was difficult. And so she was like, I'm having you admit it. Things are taking too long, doing everything outpatient. Instantly went to the hospital that Wednesday. That they admitted me that Friday. They came to me and told me I had polymyositis. And I had what? Yeah, I couldn't spell it. I couldn't pronounce it. It took some time. So nonetheless, they gave me some paperwork from the Mayo Clinic that explained to me, excuse me for that beep. Um, they gave me some, information from the Mayo Clinic that explained what polymyositis is. And polymyositis means inflammation of many muscles. So
Mm.
myositis is the root word of it is the autoimmune disease. It has other strands, dermatomyositis, inclusive body myositis, and like I said, polymyositis. So it affects for polymyositis, it affects the muscles closest to the trunk of the body, basically your legs and your arms and your back muscles. And so it weakens the muscles. Being an autoimmune, my body felt it was attacking itself. So
Mm.
it's weakening my muscles. I literally walked into the hospital, even though I was struggling. I didn't walk out. I left out in a wheelchair
Mm.
like a week later. Um, Went to a rehab, tried, did some work at the rehab. Unfortunately, continued to get weakened. The first defense of medication it gave was prednisone because it being autoimmune and the prednisone is good for inflammation. It wasn't working. I think I probably was there about a week and I ended up back in the hospital and I was there again for another week. I had given, been assigned to a rheumatologist, great rheumatologist. And I say she's great because she looked into Johns Hopkins. And down in Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, they have a myositis clinic.
Mm.
So she referred me there. And so we're like November-ish at this point. So December, I go down and I meet with the doctor down there, the specialist. She tells me things, that she's been doing research and all this. She was like, "You're going to walk again." She's like, "You're not going to run." And I told her that was fine because I never, like, you weren't going to run a marathon. I didn't want to. I just wanted to walk again. I met a patient of hers who was a basketball player who had been in my position in a wheelchair the whole nine. And she was walking around with her
Wow.
ball back to working out. So you talk about giving somebody hope that I'm straight. I'm gonna be walking again.
Right.
We put me on another set. We put me on some medicine. We kept me on the prednisone, and we put me on some other medicine. There was an IV treatment that I had to do, which was 5 months, 5 days each month. It started working. Great. I'm standing. I'm at this point. I moved to a different rehab, by the way.
Okay.
So I still never went back home, guys. Went to a different rehab. We're working on me keeping, trying to keep me going. I'm starting to stand, gaining some strength from the medication, which was IVIG, intravenous immunoglobulin is the medication. And so we're going, I guess about after the third treatment, third round, to stop wanting to work. Now we're what? January, February. So we're like March. And it decides it doesn't want to work. So now I'm starting to trend down, but I'm not a quitter. So I was like, I'm gonna continue to take this medicine. Maybe this was just a bad period. So we finish the treatments. We come up to go and see the doctor at about June.
Mm.
And by the time I get there, I'm trending down real bad. I'm weak in the core. I could barely hold up my head. And she then admits me. So we're in June of 2007, guys. Pardon me. To kind of backtrack, this all started in October 2006. June of 2007, I get admitted to Johns Hopkins. And then hang out there for probably till like mid July, trying to work and find out what's going on, why the medicine wasn't working, what is going on. And a lot started happening to me there. Um, I started getting so weak where like I could not clear my throat. I didn't have the strength to clear when you cough and you can't clear your throat. So sadly, for a lot of people, sadly, like I had episodes of respiratory requests, alerts to come in and everything such as that. I wasn't walking, still doing rehab. Rehab never stopped since it started. Um, they decide they're going to discharge me. That they got me stable for what they felt, but they wanted me to stay local.
Okay.
So I end up going to Good Samaritan, which is like down the road or so, something like that. So while I was at Good Samaritan, and their head of rheumatology is now involved. But again, I still had a couple episodes. Those I ended up getting trach. Um, just went through a bout of stuff. Everybody's still researching me and trying to find out what's going on. So they ended up reaching out to a rheumatologist or a doctor in like Pittsburgh
Hmm.
who dealt with myositis. And he had determined that I had a strand of polymyositis called SRP. So this is why I wasn't responding. So it's sit I can't I'm like lost the thought of what the SRP is and I apologize.
That's okay. We don't know what it is neither.
So once they figured out what that was, it was like great. This and he was
Okay.
like, this is how you can treat her.
Oh, okay.
So they started giving me a medication called Rituxan. And so I got that. Rituxan has been my blessing medicine. So it takes about 4 months for it to kick in, though. So we're talking about at this point when I got to Good Samaritan, it was like around August. I
Right.
end up leaving there in September, and I was like, I'm going back home.
Right.
Between June and September, my family and friends had packed up my apartment, so everything was in storage. So I went back home to New Jersey and went to a rehab there till about January. And
So I was gonna ask you, because I know you're doing a lot. I was gonna ask you, how did this affect you? You can incorporate this into into your answer. How did this affect you personally and professionally? Because you had a job, and I'm pretty sure you had a outgoing life. So in the midst of from that time, 3 months in 2026, and then I guess for the year of 2027, it was like you wasn't working.
no,
You wasn't living on. It was like you was inside and outside of rehabilitation centers, as well as hospitals. Then now you at the point where they packed you up and now you in New Jersey. But I mean, for all those months, like, how did the diagnosis really impact you?
So, when I left work, well, when I didn't go to work on October the 11th, I never went back. I was on short term disability till April. Then I went on long term disability. Then, so that's how, like, financially and work wise, things went on. So luckily, I mean, I was already 10 years into state service. So I had already had a lot of built up there.
Mhm.
So as far as, being able to have long term and short term disability was a good thing. Um, like I said, yeah, in April about is when I was like pretty much what they consider separated.
Okay.
So I had gone on retirement, and I was just living like emotionally, physically, I was in a wheelchair. I was not like standing and walking on my own. I couldn't really like raise my hand like this. I could barely lift it off the bed. Um, I needed help getting dressed. I needed help going to the bathroom. There was, the aides and such in the rehab centers had to use the machines to help get me in the bed, out of the bed, as far as that goes, and help me get dressed. And for a 34-year-old at the time, when it all started, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You're in your prime, and you're doing so much for yourself. Um, and to have to let all that go and being pretty much Miss Independent, you're single, working, doing your thing. And yeah, it was taken from me due
Yeah.
to my body, you
Wow.
know. So, but I never, I felt that, but I never let it get to me. So, like, I didn't give up hope. My thing was, I was working. I was going to walk again,
Yeah.
period. My family and my friends, like, over the years, hearing, their side once they felt comfortable to tell me where they felt going through it, it was different. Like
Yeah.
how they view things and everything, their minds were totally different than what I felt the way I felt about myself and what I was going through.
Yeah. So you say, in your bio, you mentioned that you advocate and you counsel others who has been diagnosed. How do you advocate?
So I met how do I advocate? Um I work hard to because I am now in a wheelchair. I went from walking and in 2024, I mean 2020, I broke my leg, so now I'm back in a wheelchair. But I was walking with a rollator. Those that know me know that I needed a wheelchair, a rollator, which is a walker. And but my advocate is to help myself and others. And as far as my doctors, educating them, I have a lot of doctors that did not know anything about
Mm.
polymyositis or myositis. So like I'm educating every time I talk to a doctor. I'm educating when I talk to people around me and to get what I need. I need it. This might seem personal to a lot of people, but due to the weakness in my legs and everything, things as simple as going to the bathroom can be difficult. It's a height thing. So when I was standing, the higher the better. It was easier for me to get up. So like I've had to use my ADA uh, uh department at work to get like a chair. It's called a seat lift that would
Hmm.
help me lift myself up. So it would stand up, help me stand up, and so that I don't have to struggle to stand up. So like getting that kind of equipment, I had to educate them on why is this needed. You can walk, they see those things, but they don't get that I need assistance standing.
Right.
And looking at the fact that I'm young, they see I can move my limbs and they look at my age and they look at my physical. And it's like you don't see it unless you see me do things.
Right.
And so advocating for myself to get that type of equipment at work. I had to advocate for myself to get what is called a seat lift on the handicapped stall seat. When the maintenance came in about it, he was like, well, the toilet seats are already high. And I'm like, no, but they're not high enough for what I need. So I need it raised. So, like, educating him on that because he's thinking ADA, it's regulated.
Right.
I need it above regulation. Things such as that. So, like, I voiced my opinion on that. Doors. A lot of people don't realize because I still have this limited strength, opening some doors or pushing some doors can be difficult. And when I look at it, I don't look at it just for myself. I look at it for elderly people because I look at my strength level is similar to some elderly people.
Mm-hmm.
So like pushing and pulling, I'm thinking of them as my community. And I use paratransit here, Delaware paratransit to get around, to go to work, shopping, what have you. When when I applied for them, I had to interview. And their goal is they want to try to get their riders, even handicapped riders or disabled riders, should I say, to use the regular buses.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to prove to them why I needed to ride their bus.
Mm.
And so, I said, explain to her about the seats needing to be higher and how it's difficult for me to get up. I need to have that time to get up from a seat. On a regular route bus, you got to get up and get off,
Right.
and the lady said, well, the seats in the back are higher. Is when I was explaining, I said, are the seats higher or is the back of the bus higher? She paused and was like, oh, yeah, it's a step up. It's elevated because it's a step up, but the seat itself isn't higher.
Right.
So like it's educating on those things to let people understand that, those are things that make it easier. When I go places, when I was standing, stools were my best friend. Can we sit in the bar? Because I can get up and down on my own a lot better.
Right.
You know, um, when I would ask for people who were riding to pick me up, do you have a car? Do you have an SUV or a small
Right.
SUV?
Right.
Because they make the difference for
Yeah.
me to do on my own and not need them to help me get up out of their car.
Right.
Because the lower, of course, the more difficult.
Wow. Okay. So, what advice can you give to family members or friends how to treat a person who has been diagnosed with your disease? Because I know you, my girlfriend, I get on you all the time. Dionne, why you da 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 da? But then sometimes I got to step back and be like, you're not in her situation, right? So, of course, you would say you need to do X, Y, Z, but who say she haven't thought about that? So what is your advice on to family members or friends on how to help a person that has your disease, being that is rare?
Um, Support, understanding, and when I say understanding that it is a disease that is fatiguing. It's not something that I'm trying to be lazy about. For me, So let's use homecoming because that's a great example of us. I'm out, I'm doing things, and when I go out, I try to literally exhaust all the opportunity that I have. It's good and bad because I'm constantly going. I'm not sitting down because I know it's hard for me to get up. So I'm constantly fatiguing my body. When I do sit down, because I've done that, that's usually it.
Mm.
Um, I want to go out later and continue to do things, go to the after parties and things like that. But I have to accept that realistically, I've exhausted myself from everything we did during the day. And so now that I'm down, my body says you're down.
Right.
And it's not that I'm trying to be a party pooper um, or anything like that. It's just real legit. I'm exhausted.
I get it.
You know, working out, the same thing. You and I could go work out on a day together, and I can hang as best I can with you. But understand that tomorrow I may not be able to go and work out with you again because I'm tired from the workout we did already. Or I'm going to go home and I'm going to sleep
Mm.
after we work out. And I'm not going to take an hour nap. I may sleep for like 5 hours,
Wow.
because my body is just wanting to now replenish just like yours does, but because you have more strength and more muscle, because I actually have lost muscle as a result of this disease. Um, my muscle that I have is trying to recover
Yeah.
from what you've just done to it.
Okay.
You know, can I do there's a lot of exercises that of course we know I can't do. I can't do jumping jacks. But I can do lift weights. It's not gonna be 50 pounds with 25 pounds. And it's not gonna be a whole lot over my head. And I will need assistance. Even when I go to therapy, lifting 5 pounds, I get assistance just to do this exercise
Mm.
because the shoulder muscles are still they're so weak that my arms may fall and
Wow.
being I knock myself upside the head with the weight.
Right.
So needing that type of assistance where some people may look like, would you need assistance for that?
Right.
You know, but just in that area, I let's go back a little bit. Like I said, I'm in a wheelchair. Please let everybody know. I still ain't gave up on walking and standing again.
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna
I
ask
do
you.
not plan to stay here until the day I die. I will always be wanting to walk and stand and doing the things that I can to walk and stand. I hope when I'm 88, I'm still fighting to walk and stand, even though at 88, my body may have it caught up to my age had finally caught up to my body.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna ask you. I believe you're gonna walk again,
No,
sis.
that fight is there. She is here.
I
She,
believe you're gonna walk
from
again.
age 34 to now age 53, I still have that same optimism and fight that I had when I saw that girl with the backpack talking about she was good.
Mm. So, what do you want people to take away from this interview?
What I want people to take away from this interview is an understanding of hidden disabilities. Just because you see somebody's mobility and you can't judge them by what they can and can't do or what they will and will not do. Um, be patient, have understanding. It's mentally challenging, and it's something that you're dealing with that, and it's a mental challenge. It is a mental challenge to not just saying like what some people think of mental, like going into depression and things like that. No, like I mentally have to push myself to physically do what I need to do. And I have been the whole time.
Mm.
You know, this is not faking, it's not being lazy. You know, I really say be patient, be understanding. That is the biggest thing, being patient and understanding. And remember that one thing, like our sister friend Jovita lets me have my independence. Not that you all don't, but she truly, truly will let me do what I need to do until I say, yo, Joe, would you,
Mm.
will you? But she will go ahead and step up and do what she where she knows that I need help. But
Mm-hmm.
just because I need help, don't dismiss that I don't have opinions
Right.
or that it's a certain way. That's the other thing. Listen to how to help. And whether that's me, anybody who is disabled due to being paralyzed, listen to how to help that person. Don't just assume because you're physically going to help them move that this is the way to do it.
Right.
Listen to it. I've had paramedics try to not listen to how
Wow.
to help me move and get on a stretcher or get up in a wheelchair. Just because you've lifted bodies before doesn't mean this is how it needs it works for me.
Right. 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 Wow. So looking back, couple more questions and we're done. Looking back over your life, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, girl, you a beast. You are a strong woman. You are very independent, but go ahead and allow yourself to let others help you. It's okay to ask for help. After almost 19 years into this, it's still difficult to ask for help. That's the one thing, like I pride, and I still do, on being
Mm, you
independent.
do. You do.
I live alone.
You do.
Um, I do a lot by myself. And I remember telling my mother at one point doing all of this, because she drilled independence, this and that and the third. And I said, I think I took it to the nth degree though, because you drilled it on how to take care of myself and be myself, but you didn't tell me how to be okay with letting other people do it for me too, and to
Mm,
help me as well. And that's the part that I still struggle with.
okay. So what is next for you? So what is
What is
next? I
next
know
for
because
me?
I know you got a couple of, come on, you finish your master's. She finished her master's degree. She ain't talk about that. That
I
was something
did.
she
I
had
got
on her
my
bucket list.
master's
She got
degree.
her master's degree. You also have something that helps you stand.
So
Like
I have a
you've been losing. Yeah,
machine.
come on. You've been losing weight. Come on.
Oh,
What, what's next?
I'm always trying to get myself on my feet. I told you I'm not going to stop until I'm walking again. So there's a device called a standing machine, standing frame, and it's we'll have to send a photo, but it helps me stand up, and so it's giving the stretch that I need in my legs and helping to build the stamina that I need to stand on my legs. Because sitting in a wheelchair, as any paraplegic would tell you, it tightens your ligaments. And so I have to release that. And the only way to do it is to put your body weight into your legs, your feet. So though it's a machine, it's still all my body weight. And it's just helping me to stand up. So basically I'm like in between. It looks like I'm in between something where there's a padding back here and there's a table up here, and it's just me standing in the middle. So I'm working on that. I've gotten up to 30 minutes. So the goal is to try to stand longer, and then of course try to push the seat back, but like be able to hold myself up and keep, your body in alignment. So it has its levels of everything. I do little exercises while I'm in it. I try to do mini squats, even though it's not really squatting, but it's still just contracting the muscles to get the muscles activated so that they are working as well.
Okay.
Um, I continue to go to therapy. Therapy has been there since 2000. I don't think I'll ever stop going to therapy. You know, um, I have taken some breaks. I did, but it's really needed in my life. So therapy and exercise is something that has to be in there, no matter how difficult it is, and how when I say difficult is like not seeing the results
Yeah.
that some people see, and everybody can appreciate that because we all want that instant gratification, no matter what level of physical fitness you are at, and you're trying to jump up. But I am just a smidge over 2 years close to retirement.
Ooh.
But I'm retiring from the state. So I will have 30 years very, very soon. And after that, I don't plan to not work, but I do plan to take a break. And then what I call it, I'm going to go play in the corporate world.
Okay.
So I'll use my master's degree and play in the corporate world for a little bit and then see what that brings me after that.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Exciting. So, would you ever do a documentary about your life, navigating through this disease?
Oh, absolutely. That would be awesome. Yes. I've been told to write a book, but I haven't been, I don't know. I know someone who wrote a book. I met a couple people throughout my journey. One young lady, unfortunately, she passed, but she wrote her own book and published it herself
All right.
about the
Come on.
story.
I don't know
I
where
read it.
Tierra. Yeah, I don't know where Tierra Graves at, but she always watch my interviews. Come on, Tierra Graves, because
I read it.
she helps people
It's,
with writing books and
it's a
publishing.
lot.
Yeah, it's
I
a
know
lot.
it's a lot of unpacking.
Yeah,
And I guess I have to be ready to unpack all of that, like even more of that. But a
yeah,
documentary, most definitely. Like if I could find somebody to follow me around and see what a day in a life, a true day in the life of Dionne, and someone with myositis, and just how we move, and yeah, I think it needs to be seen.
nice, nice.
And not
So,
just like myself. I would find other people because I have a great great girlfriend that I met on this journey through our doctors at Johns Hopkins, and her life as my polymyositis with SRP um, person and mine are completely different.
wow.
So
Okay.
that would definitely need to see where you could see the variance between people with this muscle disease. I think I'm probably like on the worst side of it, but there are some people that are really, really not gotten, as I say, beat up as it did to me.
Mm,
You know,
wow. Okay. So, how can you leave us some encouraging words for my viewers? We're about to end and land this interview. But can you give my viewers some encouraging words? Because I know
encouraging words.
we take for granted. We take for granted walking. We take for granted going to the bathroom. We take for granted our limbs, right? And to know that that can be taken away at any given time, right? So for someone to, because it wasn't like you was born like that, you
I
ended up
didn't
with
have a
the
car
disease,
accident.
right? You ended up with the disease at 34 and didn't know. So you was athletic. So it wasn't like you was not athletic and you was overweight because she was not. She had banging body, okay, because she was a cheerleader. But I'm just saying that things can happen in life that can alter your life.
Yeah.
And either we can give up or we can keep going and maneuver and pivot through it. And me being your friend for so many years, I just have seen you go through. And I know because I know you personally, it ain't easy. And I know you have good days and sometimes you have bad days, but you're still here and you're
Yes.
still alive and you're still fighting to walk again. So that gives other people hope, like that other young lady gave you hope. So if you can leave some encouraging words for my viewers.
With anything, and of course, I think it's just normal with just life in general, don't give up. Every day God wakes us up, we have another day to keep going and striving for what we want. Um, like I said, be understanding. We need to be understanding with each other, whether we have all our mobility or not. Being understanding at any stage, whichever your physical mobility is, your financial situation is, whatever life, enjoy it. Don't let being in your situation steal all your joy.
Mm,
Find your joy. There is joy, there is laughter, there is fun in everything. I think I've learned to be less serious. I will cut up with anybody. I'll go to the supermarket, and when the cashier tells me my price, I'm like, oh, that's too much. I wasn't expecting to spend that much. It could be, she could have told me that price was $1.50. And I'm going to joke around and tell her that was too expensive. I am out to try to let somebody have a smile that day, and that's the thing. We have to allow ourselves to find some fun in our day and find some fun in our life.
yeah,
Um, and to be supportive and encouraging to each other.
yeah. I love it. I love it. I'm about to cry over here.
Don't
Ah!
cry.
So we had some. I always like to go to the comments before we end. So because Jovita was like, "Amen. Don't give up walking." And then we had another question from Ron Jones. How did she break her leg? I don't know if you want to answer that.
That's a story in itself. I'm going to tell you just the life of living, walking by faith and not by sight is straight up what I did every day of my life after getting my ascites. Okay.
No, he
Real
wanted to
quick,
know.
Ron, I was
Okay.
walking to the bathroom. My foot slipped from underneath me. Being the fact that I already have weak muscles, when I went down, I heard a pop. Well, we all knew it was that. Broke my leg. Trying to walk, just walking through the bathroom.
Wow. And then we had. I'm still learning how to allow other people to help me. Okay. So
Yeah,
you're not by yourself.
no.
So Dwight Allen said, I have a book entitled Motivation is Your Drive, available on Amazon.com. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Let me know if you want to come on and promote your book. I'll bring you
Yes.
on too. Let's see what else he said. I just shared your live. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you. Thank you. Yes. If
And
every we forgot to share that today, this month is Myositis Awareness Month.
yes.
So that's the other thing. Yeah.
And then it says, God bless you, ladies. Thank you.
Yes. God bless you.
And he prayed for your healing.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Heal your strength and body. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for all the comments.
Yes.
But yes. So it's saying, oh, somebody else has comment again. Okay, okay, sir. It's your season. Okay. Okay, with the prophetic word. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. I feel every season is my season. You
Yes,
gotta
I know
make your
that's right.
season, baby. But
Yes, yes, you
yes,
do.
every
Okay.
season is our season. We just gotta find the positive in that season.
Yes, he said keep your discussion going every week. She can. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. Be of good courage. Yes, she can. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching the interview. And yeah, Dionne, I love you. Thank you for sharing your story. I know to relive it is not easy, but you are truly a blessing, and you have been a blessing for me in my life. So I just thank
Thank
you
you, and same, sister girl.
because I
Yes.
know when I get down all that, I just think about it. Well, uh, there's some people that wished, so snap out of it. So yeah, so keep going. We here for you. Me and Joe talk to you every day. So
Every
yes,
day, every
yes, every
day.
day, every day,
We have
every
been some
day.
COVID ride. We've been riding since COVID on the
Yes,
phone.
yes, yes. So
Y'all my coworkers.
yes, so we encourage each other and just be there for each other. We love the Dope Sister Circle. So shout out to the Dope Sister
The
Circle.
Dope Sister Circle is the dopest.
Yes. But I'm gonna end this interview saying, look, guys, I will be back. I'm not going to interview every week. I will be doing interviews twice a week. Just so I won't get bombarded or get really tired and then stop like I did. But I want to keep this going. So yeah, so thank you. We're gonna make sure Dionne find a way to get that ghostwriter to write her autobiography. I'm going to be looking for Tia Graves. Thank you, Jovita.
Tiara, go ahead and drop into my DM if you
Yes,
find me.
yes, yes, yes. So I just want everybody to stay encouraged, and I'll see you guys in the next 2 weeks with another great interview. So just make sure you stay tuned and enjoy your weekend and be safe. And I know we ain't talk about COVID, but COVID is still out here, y'all. Somewhere it's still out here. But just enjoy your life, and don't ever take your life for granted. Your hands, your fingers, your feet, walking, talking, or eating. Never take it for granted because it can be taken away like that. So enjoy, and I love y'all.